The ANC pulled in 65.9% of the votes cast in 2009. Now another election is looming. ANC Deputy Secretary General Jessie Duarte said in August that the ANC was sure it would increase its majority at next year's elections. She said, and I quote, "We are going to work for an increase in majority. We are very confident that we will win this election decisively." ANC Deputy Secretary General Jessie Duarte joins me now to discuss election 2014. Jessie Duarte, welcome to the show. I have to tell you, I'm amazed by your confidence. Why do you think you'll win a majority even?
You know, Justice, elections is about hard work. It's not about making guesstimates. It's not about looking at sheerly at numbers. It's actually about boots on the ground every day, making sure that you touch base with voters at least 4 or 5 times before an election takes place. And the ANC has been going on the ground for a couple of weeks now. Since beginning of August, we've already started doing some really good work. We are currently in the phase where we are doing what we call manifesto forums. We've chosen 45 major city centers to do those in. And the feedback we're getting is quite good. Naturally, people would say, look, you've done well, but there's a number of issues that we would still wish you to do and that we're not happy about. We listen, we hear that. And we base our confidence on what people tell us.
A lot of people, the conversation in South Africa right now seems to be around corruption. Yes. Which is a key issue. A lot of people are saying, look at the ANC. The ANC chairperson at the moment is being accused of all sorts of things. It's being investigated by the Hawks and the and agencies in the United States. People look at, we were just discussing the so-called Gupta Gate scandal and so forth. People are saying, this is not an ANC that's worth voting for. How are you going to jump over that hurdle?
The issues that we are faced with on the ground, the first issue is jobs. The second issue is housing. The third issue is definitely corruption, and people are raising those issues. I didn't know that owning shares was a corrupt issue. Then maybe half of the people in South Africa who own shares should also be taken to...
but the allegation here is that
she did what?
Is that her representative arrived and said, we will scupper this deal
but
if
apparently
you do not give
he
us
said
this.
it about his own shares, not about hers. And I think let's wait for the investigation to take place, because one thing we're very good at in this country is to destroy people's reputations based on 1 or 2 or 3 words.
I'm not saying she's guilty. I'm saying the perception adds on.
I think but I think you are saying she's guilty. I don't think you're saying she's not. I think you're saying she's guilty, and you're saying
I'm saying the perception out there is that, look,
but let's deal with the issue.
Deals being
Justice, let's deal with the issue. What people are raising is that there has to be fairness. There has to be openness, and there has to be complete honesty about these things, and we agree with that. And irrespective of what the accusation is, we're expecting our chairperson to answer the questions openly, fairly, and without fear. And hopefully she will do that if she's given an opportunity to
The point
so.
I was trying to make wasn't just about the chairperson of the ANC, but it's about a package of issues. President Zuma mired in all sorts of issues. You look at Judge John Hlophe, in the matter relates to President Zuma. Gupta Gate, so-called Gupta Gate, relates to President Zuma. How does
that relate to... I've been looking at all the news articles about the Gupta Gate issue. And here you're dealing with a person who's speaking in the third party, who says somebody else told her that the number 1 said X, Y, and Z. And so, you know what I believe? I believe when I hear it from the horse's mouth. And what the president has said is that he hasn't been involved in this. Now, I think it's time that this obsession with wanting to find President Zuma guilty has to come to an end at some point. But everything that happens in this country, we blame President Zuma.
No, but that's not strictly true. Every time there's a not every time there's a scandal, but there are so many scandals that keep on coming up, and all of them point to...
Isn't he the favorite scapegoat?
No, he's not the favorite scapegoat. The point is that whether it's the Gupta family, whether it's landing a plane at Waterkloof Air Force Base, whether it's Judge John Kloppe, and all these are allegations, by the way.
Exactly.
Allegations.
I like
but
the word allegations.
President Zuma's name keeps on popping up.
You know
and
what,
therefore
Justice,
it adds to
if the Guptas are guilty of anything wrong, then blame and charge the Guptas.
But why aren't the Guptas?
If Judge Kloppe is guilty of anything wrong, then blame and charge him. I think that it is really a fact of life in our country that many people who wish to see South Africa take a different turn and understand President Zuma is not going to allow that different turn other than looking squarely at what's in favor of the poor in this country. I'm not saying that he's perfect. No human being is perfect. You're not perfect. No one is perfect. But to find one individual so completely easily scapegoatable, if that's a word one can use, is for me a bit ridiculous. I think we need to get to the point where, as South Africans, we blame those who do wrong things for what they've done wrong, directly, without fear. Why can't the Guptas be charged in their own name and right if
maybe
they've
they
done
should
something
be because
wrong?
they landed a plane at the military
absolutely.
facility in
If they've
South
done
Africa.
something wrong, go after them.
No one seems to be going after them. People
But
seem
why
to be
not?
going after the little people at the
Well, I think the little people ought to be saying what really happened.
Yeah, but the little people are saying we were told, and then the little people get punished. No one says actually the plane that landed belonged to or was chartered by the Gupta family.
No, they are saying that.
And so why aren't the Guptas, why isn't the government led by the African National Congress going after them?
Anybody who is guilty of doing something wrong should be charged, as far as I'm concerned. Why leave it, and why bring President Zuma in?
Because the people who landed that plane abused his name, and it seems as if they'll get away with it.
They abused his name, and they shouldn't be allowed to do so, and neither should anyone else be allowed to
I look
abuse
forward
his
to
name.
officials of the of this government doing that. But we've been sidetracked here. Is President Zuma going to be the face of the ANC selection
Yes, he will
campaign?
be.
And President Thabo Mbeki, are you going to rope him in?
Hopefully he will join in the campaign as soon as possible.
Are you going to allow the Gauteng ANC to use him as it indicated?
Use is a very rude word. I think
deploy. Let's use deploy.
Former President Mbeki, any cadre of the movement, will be called upon to assist the ANC wherever it's possible for them to do so, and when they have the time to do so. At that level, some of our cadreship don't have time, but they make time. And yes, he will be deployed if he agrees to be deployed not only in Gauteng, but in other parts of the country as well.
There have been various reports in the city press in particular yesterday, in the Sunday Times a few weeks ago, in which it seems as if the African National Congress is saying that it's going to use its successes in government to highlight that it's going to use government projects to highlight that it has been successful.
Well, the ANC is the ruling party in this country, and we are the governing party. And the successes of government are the successes of the ANC, whether you like that or not.
I love it.
You know, and that is a fact. And so, because you go on, you run an election based on a manifesto. And in our manifesto, we had 5 key priority areas, and we've done very well in those 5 key priority areas, and we've added others. At Polokwane, we raised the issue of infrastructure development as a key indicator for moving the country forward, and that's happening. And we are, of course, very concerned with education. We've achieved universal access at a primary school level. We're very concerned about the dropout rate at a high school level. Those are realities. We're very proud of the fact that we can say that we have many more graduates in this country than we've ever had before 1994.
What about jobs? Jobs, we seem to be moving backward here. We had 25% unemployment, 52% unemployment among the youth. The ANC has failed these young people because jobs are not being created, and the economy will grow at only 2% this year, if I believe Minister Pravin Gordhan and Jill Marcus.
But it is growing, and that's the big thing. It's not going backward, it is growing forward. And the point is that
no.
jobs are not only. Let me finish, please. The government is creating a number of jobs. The government, for instance, Kusile has 15,000 workers every minute of every day. That is a government project. Medupi, the same. Every infrastructure development project that is government-sponsored is creating jobs. We need the private sector to come on board as well. And the government creates an environment for an economy to grow. We also need the private sector to play its part. And until they do so, we're not going to create enough jobs simply by the government.
You're playing the blame game here. It's
no,
not
I'm
just
not.
the private sector.
It's a fact of life.
But people would say to you, the COSATU ANC, the tripartite alliance is the real issue that's stopping job growth, because COSATU doesn't want you to implement things like the youth wage subsidy.
Well, I think that COSATU has a view on it, but it doesn't mean that COSATU's view is the only view that holds. And as far as the ANC is concerned, providing incentive schemes for young people is what we will go forward with, without fear, without favor.
Jessie Duarte, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
I wish you luck, and good luck with that decisive victory.
Thank you.
After the break, our winner and loser of the week. Stay with us.
News that moves. ENCA.com.